Coming up on today's show, it is our 400th episode, and we are going to have double the fun because we have a trip report that includes 2 of the members. That's coming up today on Traveling with the Mouse. Welcome, everyone, to episode number 400, as I said. I am your host this week. My name is John. And I am joined, as always, by my esteemed co-hosts. First, we have Adam.
What's up, everybody?
You're just holding that back. You couldn't hold it back any longer to say what's up, everybody.
I was holding my breath.
Yeah, I see. I could have waited and built the suspense.
I know. I felt like you were, but
hope it'll last.
Anyway. Yeah.
As well, we have Jason.
Hello.
We have Sir Jason.
How are you this evening? Morning. Afternoon?
Morning?
Oh. Good afternoon. Good evening. And good night.
All right. Well, that's all we have for tonight, folks. We'll see you later.
400.
Bye.
Yeah, it is 400.
400
How did
episodes.
we get to 400?
Well, we slowed down. That's how we got to 400, or else we would have been well past 5.
Yeah, can you believe we did like 3 a week when we first started? I don't know how we did that.
That was before I joined.
Yeah. I don't know how we did that. But anyway.
I need to go back and listen to the early episodes, because we used to divide it up into, like, categories, and I forgot what they were now.
Yeah, we did like news. And
like
then,
Monday was one thing, Wednesday was one thing, and
yeah.
then Friday was another or something like that.
I don't know.
It was like every other day.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Something like that.
Took a lot of time.
So, why don't we jump right into it? During the week of spring break, you guys had the opportunity to go to Walt Disney World.
Indeed.
Correct.
I think actually Jason got there first, Adam joined, and then Jason stayed longer, right?
Adam and I left in the same day. So.
Oh, okay. I got that wrong. So Jason got there. Oh, that's what it was. Your parents joined you for the first couple of nights. And then it was just you, and then Adam joined.
Yeah. I was there for 8 nights. I was there from April 1st through the 9th. So from a Saturday to a Sunday.
It was there for 8 crazy nights.
I was thinking that too.
You were thinking the same thing?
Yes. I think I said that last time you said that. But anyway.
Well, anyway. It's not like we have ever beaten a dead horse. Much like Disney. No. Anyway.
Yeah.
So where do we begin? Let's see. So Jason he got there first, and then we get to the end. Stop. Right?
Sure.
That's the trip. That's the trip. I think this is going to be potentially a lengthy one, which is why we broke it out into its own episode. And I feel like it's only fitting that I get episode 400 for my grand, glorious finale, 4-hour finale, a tribute to all nations, but mostly me.
You got an hour and a half.
An hour and a half.
That's
an hour and a half.
The longest.
Okay, well, I won't be here that long, so.
No, I'm just saying, we don't want to go beyond an hour and a half, I don't think.
All right, so a glorious 3-hour finale. Let's start.
Yeah.
Let's start.
I arrived on Saturday. I started at Epcot.
That's a great way to start.
Got my Guardians in. Yeah, I did the boarding group and the virtual queue, wanted to do the double Epcot, and I broke the curse that day, getting the one way or another. I actually got Iran, which I think I had never gotten before.
That's
I can't remember the other one I got. I got Everybody Wants to Rule the World for the second one.
The best one.
My favorite.
So I got a couple of good rides. I opened with Living with the Land. That was my first ride when I arrived.
That's a good open.
It's a great opener.
My stays, to sort of lay out my stays, I was there for 8 nights. For 4 nights, I was staying on DVC points. For 4 nights, I was staying on cash. My first 2 nights, I was staying in a tower studio at the Riviera. For my second 2 nights, I was staying at a deluxe studio preferred at the Riviera. And for my last 4 nights, I was staying in an outer building at Coronado Springs Resort.
How did you like the tower studio? Because it's, there's not a lot of those rooms, so I'm sure not a lot of people are familiar with them.
I was on the top floor of the tower studio, so 8th floor.
Nice. Yeah.
And I actually had the one that was faced the least towards Epcot, but I still had a great view of Epcot.
Yeah.
was a fantastic view overlooking the Skyliner, overlooking
Mm.
Epcot. The room was perfect, in my opinion. From like, if you're coming with just 2 people, you don't need much more.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a Murphy bed, but it was comfortable. The living area was compact, but the bathroom was huge. The shower was huge. The balcony was fine. Honestly, when I got to the studio, after 2 nights, I was like, man, this studio is too much. It's huge. I don't need this much room.
Yeah. Makes
I
sense.
felt like the Tower Studio was more than sufficient, and I kind of wish that I had been able to secure that for more nights and been able to use fewer points, because it was, if I could plan far enough in advance, it's the best. I love that studio. Going by myself, it was fantastic.
Is it better on points because it's smaller?
Yes, it's the best
That's-
deal on points at Riviera. It's on par with probably more like a studio at Animal Kingdom or Old Key West.
Okay.
So I mean, it was like 17 points a night at Spring Break for a Tower
Dang.
Studio.
Wow.
So
Not
like
bad.
it's more on par with the studio, some of the lower tier, like lower cost point resorts.
And how many of them are there? There's like, 18 or something? It's not a lot. What is
Something
it,
like that.
30?
There's like, I think 3 per floor. And there's 8 floors. So it's like 24 or something like that.
24?
Because
Okay,
it's just
so
that
not a
one
lot.
turret. Just that one turret has them in it.
Wow. Yeah. So they're hard to get, I imagine.
They are.
But,
I liked
well
it
worth
enough
it.
that I kind of wished I had gone downstairs and been like, can you get the people that are moving into this room, can you give them my studio and just let me not move out? Like, so
Wow.
I had,
Just switch it. I mean,
yeah.
they'd probably take that. Like, if I was coming in, they'd probably take the bigger, if you had, like, more people.
for the
but-
same amount of points. Or
Well, that's the
cash,
thing. I
either
had
way.
a
exactly.
preferred view for my second studio, which preferred view at Riviera means you're overlooking Caribbean Beach. I honestly think standard view is better at Riviera because
Yeah,
you get
because
an
you're
Epcot view.
facing, like, towards Epcot, right?
Right.
Huh.
The only view that gets both is that Tower Studio. I got both Caribbean Beach, I got Skyliner, and I got Epcot
Yeah.
all from one spot at the Tower Studio.
Right. Yeah, I remember your view was really good, and then the other one you were basically looking at the pool, and then Caribbean Beach, right, the Riviera pool.
Mhm.
But you were right above Bar Riva, essentially.
Yeah.
That's what
And
I
I was on the
noticed.
8th floor for that one as well. So I got 8th floor
you were,
on
okay.
both of the rooms. But gotta
Yeah.
say, Riviera is a fantastic resort. Love that place. Love it. So just to say, I arrived, I parked there, took the Skyliner to Epcot. So that's how I kicked off the trip. Rode Living with the Land, rode a few rides, did a little shopping, hit up our favorite Trowel and Trellis to
Yeah.
get my Impossible short ribs. You notice I didn't order those the other days when you were there, Adam, because I'd already
Yeah.
had them.
Right.
That's my favorite at the Flowering Garden. Did some La Cava, one of my 3 visits to La Cava during the week.
So nice.
Yes. That's when I found out. I think I did a standing table that day, and I asked, Barbas was not there, but I was trying to sort of gauge what the deal was.
Yeah.
And that my parents came for 3 nights, I believe it was. They were there for 3 park days, but they did not go to the park on that Saturday. So they arrived. So I went back to
Yeah.
the resort, met with them, and got to eat at Topolino's that night, which
yes.
was my first Topolino's dinner. It was
Nice.
also 2 nights before the end of Harmonious. And so we had a near fireworks time. So we had a very nice dinner. I had the steak, which is going to be a theme. I've tried a lot of steak at Disney World now.
Yeah. I'm curious
But-
at the end of this what your favorite, well, I think I already know what your favorite's going to be, but
Yeah.
kind of where it ranks. Like, you had a lot of signature meals
did.
at this trip.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to hear.
This was a pretty good one. I would say the thing that stood out for both me and my mom was the side of mushrooms, surprisingly, that you could get with the steak. That was really, really good.
Right.
Not those
Sorry.
kind of mushrooms, Adam.
Well, let's say I could see why it would be your favorite if, okay,
Yeah.
got it.
I mean, I had breakfast before, but not dinner. I know you've had
Right.
dinner there, so that was my first dinner. I
It was
love that
fantastic.
patio, and it was not that crowded for the fireworks. They play the Harmonious music on the balcony, so that was my last viewing of Harmonious was from Topolino's because I did not watch it any other, the next night. So
Yeah.
that's how I said goodbye.
I mean, I thought it wasn't the greatest view, though. I mean, it's,
It wasn't. My tower studio would have had a better view, actually.
yeah. Right. The balcony for the restaurant is not really
But the best
Great
part of
fireworks feeling.
Harmonious was the music, and I didn't have to see the barges.
sure.
Barges during the show, though, are actually
Yeah,
Good.
if you get a decent
Only if
view
you're
of them,
looking
I like it.
directly into the barge. Was it?
Yeah. Still.
So
Yeah,
I got
it's a good show.
that was night one. We got up the next day, and our first park day with my parents was Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
And this sort of laid out the strategy that we used later in the week. Because in addition to my parents coming, and in addition to Adam coming, we both he and I were giving some tours to people during the week. So you'll hear in the middle of the week, I had a coworker come in who hadn't come to Disney all that much with his family and some friends, and I gave them a 2-day tour. Adam had a coworker come in, and we gave them a 1-day tour. So we're becoming professional tour guides. We're happy to book
Yeah.
you for your next Disney trip for the right price.
Nice.
Just email us at podcast and traveling with the mouse with what your price is. It'll be steep, but we're willing to do it.
Well, I mean, I think we could compete with the Disney tour guide price. I think we could definitely do like
yeah, we
one
can definitely
cheaper
beat
than
that. Yeah.
they
Yeah.
can compete with tour guide Mike.
So,
But you have to
I
buy
don't even
your
know if he's
own.
still. I don't even know if he's still around. Actually,
I mean, I'm curious though about the price. If you bought your own Genie Plus and individual Lightning lanes, and then paid us something per hour, it's probably still going to be less than a VIP tour
it would
guide.
be less, but you can't rewrite anything if you're riding
That's
with
true. Yeah, and we couldn't take you backstage, obviously.
Yeah.
Not without getting
not
banned.
legally.
So there's some disadvantages, but I mean, we could get you on
Cheaper.
stuff pretty
It's
easily.
cheaper.
It's cheaper, so you get the cheaper
You
version.
just start heading backstage like it's okay. I'm a tour guide.
Yeah. But we
But
could
I
do
think we were successful tour guides. We'll get to that. But yeah, we were
Yeah.
successful tour guides. And I mean, my parents don't go that often either. My mom is the one that likes Disney. My dad gets really motion sick, so he basically rides nothing. So he was
Yeah.
more or less along for the ride. But here's the path that I tried that day, and I think we sort of mimicked it the other day, is we got there basically at rope for resort guests, but not front of the rope.
Right.
The 9 o'clock pool was to buy Rise, right?
Yeah.
And it was also to book Smuggler's Run. So right at 9 a.m., get the 9 to 10 a.m. Smuggler's Run. A Rise that works somewhere midday or whenever
Yeah.
you want to buy it for. And then at Rope, go straight to Mickey and Minnie's during
Yeah.
the early hours. So that was a strategy that worked well for us, I think, because you have a
Mhm.
drop time for Slinky Dog Dash. You have usually the ability to get Toy Story Mania. Tower of Terror is running both sides, and honestly, we
Yeah.
didn't
It's
have
not
to
as
ride
hard to
that.
get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saucers, of course, take it or leave it. So really, if you're trying to, it works out pretty well, and it actually times pretty well, and it gives, especially, I feel like Mickey and Minnie's is a good intro ride to start the day, right?
Yeah.
Especially whenever you're like touring somebody. So I don't know, it worked out really well from a timing standpoint.
Right.
So we did that sort of circuit. We did Railway, Smugglers, and Saucers, and Mania, and Rise. And we sort of bounced around. But that day, we did a bunch of rides. I also got to experience, of course, Baseline. Went to Oga's,
Yeah.
and had lunch at Woody's Roundup. So this was my first experience at Woody's Roundup.
Your
Yeah.
first roundup. It's your first
My
rodeo.
first round.
Do we
Yes,
want to
and-
like combine the talking about
Yeah.
that or what?
Let's combine
Yeah.
that, because I went
Yeah.
once on that day, and then I went again with you on, I guess that would have been Friday,
Friday, yeah.
and I almost didn't really
A
want to
lot.
go with you the second time because I was so stuffed the first time, but I basically barely ate the food the second time because I knew what I was getting into. But I don't
Yeah.
know. What's your thoughts, Adam, on the theming? Because
The theming is great.
I was a fan
Love-
of the theming.
Yeah, theming's amazing. I will say one thing too quickly about that is I was able to get 2 separate reservations for 4, which didn't include Jason. But when we got to I think they overlapped. They were like 30 minutes apart.
Yep.
But when we got there, they combined us and added Jason to it.
We were also one of the first to be seated, which helped.
Right. So having at 11 and 11:30, I think, basically, is what I had.
Yeah.
They combined them. We got in probably 11:15, something like that.
because I knew you were a member of this podcast. That's what it was.
Sure. No, but the restaurant was
Clout.
empty in the morning. I mean, by the time you get in there, it was filling up by the time we left. But if you get an early one, I think that's why we were able to get a big table and merge the two together. But anyway, I've done that strategy before. I did a New Year's Eve dinner where I got 2 separate reservations and basically merged them at the restaurant. So that's a thing you can do if you have a big group. It can help.
Well, we had a big
anyway.
group on another day with my coworker. My parents had booked beer garden, and that family had also booked beer garden like 20 minutes apart, and we were able to merge them together and sit at a table of 9.
A big table,
together.
right? Because normally you'd probably have to share with somebody else, and then they probably just put you all together because you asked.
Right.
So
yeah. Anyways, my takeaways on Woody's. Pros, theming is good.
yeah,
Pros are also, I think honestly, for what you get, the price is pretty good.
I agree.
Yeah, the price is pretty good. It probably won't last very long.
It'll go up.
Yeah, I like the whole Andy's coming, everybody freeze kind of stuff. That was all very
fun.
cute. I like that the kids can be loud. I like all of that.
Yeah, they
I know
encourage
you
that.
really like the brisket, but I don't think any of the food, for the most part, except for maybe that jam on the biscuit, is anything to write home about.
Yeah, those biscuits were good, though. Those biscuits were very good.
But in general, it's mostly
Pretty
forgettable.
standard. I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
standard, but
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I mean,
I think that Regal Eagle is better from a straight up and down barbecue restaurant perspective.
yeah,
Like quality
perhaps.
wise.
I don't know. I think you combine that with the theming, and we had a great server too. He was very loud,
Yeah.
and he enjoyed encouraging the kids to be loud. And I thought that was fun. Like, have fun. So, where can you sit down to a meal with your kids and not worry about them being loud or running around or whatever? They don't really care here, so that was nice. But this food was really good to me. The beginning, the salads they give you.
Those were good. That kale salad was good.
Yeah, the tomato one I like too.
I love
The
that they call it
watermelon
just
was okay.
watermelon a salad. It's literally just
Yeah,
watermelon with a
just
sprig of
watermelon.
basil on top. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like,
Wow.
It's okay. The sides were pretty good. I don't recall anything that really stood out to me side-wise.
I thought the fried pickles weren't that great. We ordered the fried
'cause they
pickles.
were
I was
spears,
I was
Yeah.
expecting them to be,
like chips, like
chips,
little-
but they were spears, fried spears, which is weird.
yeah, they were okay, but they were, they weren't like super crispy or anything.
Yeah.
Well,
I had the baked beans and the slaw and the potato salad my first time. I thought the baked beans were good. The corn, your son liked the corn. I thought it was just meh, honestly.
Yeah, I
Uh,
would have preferred it to be not on the cob. I didn't think it was easy to eat. Brisket was my favorite, like I said, by far. Chicken was pretty good. Ribs were not great. The
I really
sausage
like the
was really
chicken,
good,
yeah.
though.
I really like the chicken.
And the
Oh.
salmon, I think we would recommend you add the salmon. It doesn't cost
Yeah.
extra. And they'll just ask who wants it. Salmon was
Yeah.
okay, but it was, it's, I like the barbecue salmon, so it's worth adding
Yeah,
that
I think
in.
it's like, what, $49 a person? It's really a good deal.
Yeah, for the amount of food you get, if you make that like your one meal and then you could like snack the rest of the day or whatever.
Well, we didn't,
It's
on my
totally worth
first day, I didn't even really have a dinner, which I'll get to. I didn't have like a full
Yeah,
dinner.
because you ate so much.
Yeah.
I paced myself on this one though. I didn't eat too much, but yeah, so there's 2 things that happened. I think actually, I should also mention when you first walk in, the kids can ride the little pony or horse, like stick horse in.
Yeah.
Essentially, they can carry a little. I thought that was neat, although they didn't want to give it back necessarily. But they thought, oh, I get a free like toy. That's awesome.
I get a free pony.
Like you can just take it to your table. It's actually really cute. And then there's 2 things that happen, right? Forgot what the other one was, but one, you freeze. That
Yep.
happens like every 45 minutes, maybe every 40 minutes,
Yeah.
something like that.
Something like that.
So we got it twice, and then there was another one where
You dance.
something happens. You dance.
Rex has the dancing.
Right.
Party Source Rex.
There's the one where they think there's a yard sale going on, but it's not.
Yeah. Which is all cute. But again, the restaurant itself, very well incredibly themed out, way more detailed than I expected. So it's a cool environment. I think it's worth doing, especially with kids. It's a great, and get out of the heat if you're in Toy Story
My parents
Land.
loved it. I think it's one
Yeah.
of my parents weren't as into some of the elevated dining experiences, so I think
But
this
they
is
like
their
this one.
more. They like this one.
It was fun.
It was fun, yeah, agreed. And just to mention at the end, the desserts were pretty good too. You can basically get whatever you want too. They'll bring.
I did the apple pie my first time. Not a big fan of their apple pie. The other one I had the
Chocolate
cheesecake,
one-
much better. Chocolate
Chocolate one's good, and then what was that jam one or something? It was some other one.
Cupcake a la forky as well.
Yeah,
So,
the kids get the cupcake forky thing, which is cool. And they're just in little mason jars. It's great. I mean, nice little portion. It's not big, but yeah. Overall, great. I mean, I think it's wonderful. I like having a better option, another option at Hollywood Studios. So,
yeah,
this overall 2 thumbs up.
it was good.
2 thumbs way up.
Did not need to eat much after
Yeah.
that.
Come hungry, leave full, and don't eat the rest of the day.
Right. So, on my first time
Okay.
doing that, after doing that, and
Yeah.
maybe I think we rode a ride or two more. I can't remember exactly what we did. We hopped to Animal Kingdom, which was my only Animal Kingdom visit of
Right.
the week, where I had bought a Lightning Lane for Flight of Passage at the start of the day, and I had booked at a drop or something a Navi River Journey. So we rode Navi, we rode Flight of Passage, and then I went to Nomad Lounge.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And I would just say my parents did not find the food at Nomad Lounge as desirable, although they did eat it. But that's basically what we ended up having for dinner was Nomad Lounge snacks. They ate the bread service. They weren't that into the pork belly, which I think is amazing.
It is. Ugh.
Yeah.
Need
There
to
was,
go
I forget,
back
we
there.
got one other thing, and I tried a Steve special, which is something
Oh,
from
yeah.
Twitter. It's a Steve the Nomad Lounger. You can order it. Forget, it's like the Lamu libation, but without one of the mixers, and instead of the floater being on top, they mix it in. Anyways, it was disgusting. I hated
Yeah.
it.
You sent a picture
Just-
of it. Or it was like in a
Just
tall
get
glass.
the Tempting Tigress, because I like bourbon.
Yeah.
Just get the Tempting Tigress. It's the better drink
Yeah,
by far.
that
I
was
do
good.
not like the Steve special.
Is Steve a nomad vagabond?
Yeah, he
Call him
yeah,
what
he
you
just
will.
He just sits in the Nomad Lounge all the time. He's on
Uh.
Twitter. But he goes there enough that you can order a Steve special and they know what you're ordering.
Wow.
Alrighty then.
But that's just what he orders every time he's there, I guess.
So when is there going to be a Jason special somewhere? Well, where would
I
it
don't
be?
I
know.
don't know. Right now, La Cava might be the place where we
Yeah,
get something.
La
but-
Cava might be the place.
You're going to have to create a drink then if you're going to make it a Jason special.
Yeah, could we get some on the menu?
Well, you could get it unofficially.
I did get to ride to Everest though while I was there, John.
Just one?
Just one.
I hate that Animal Kingdom is kind of the one that has the drop off of my
Drop off.
rotation right now. I just haven't been.
Oh.
Like,
It's because it's kind of the one that needs something new now,
right.
I guess.
Right. Dino Land's basically dead.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
Like,
Well, that's the only thing to do in Dino Land is
yeah.
dinosaur and if you,
Triceratops.
are you gonna, well,
I can do that. The boneyard, maybe.
I was gonna say, and the boneyard, the kids
Yeah.
don't like that, but
If we go to Animal Kingdom, it's to do Navi and Flight of Passage and the safari. That's it. And we might
not
eat
even
it
Everest.
like Yak and Yeti or eat it Satuli.
Nomad.
But then Nomad is like the thing. It's like, dang, I want to go there just for Nomad. But the kids would not want to do that. So it's like we never end up going there. And that's, I don't know, it's sad. I hate that we need to figure out how to work the Animal Kingdom in. But
you don't do Gorilla Exploration Trail.
actually, well, I should say that. I do love both of the trails more so than I used to. But that's like a kind of a go-to as well. But I don't know. We just don't end up in Animal Kingdom because the other parks take too much. The kids would rather go there. So anyway,
I mean, you didn't do
Well-
It's Tough to Be a Bug. That should be your favorite. It should be high on your list.
right? Not quite.
we are one day in of 9. So,
Okay, we gotta. Sorry.
But anyways, the next day was Magic Kingdom. Basically, the goal there was happily ever after. Right. That was
Of
the whole
course,
reason
right. Yeah.
for booking it. It was the first day of Happily Ever After.
How long did you camp out?
Well, I got there at a little bit, maybe around 7:30, a little before 7:30, so an hour and a
Okay.
half. I had a great
Okay.
spot in the hub.
Yeah.
But other than that, I spent, when we got there, I actually don't know how early people camped out because we arrived not that long after rope, but still not super early. I actually
Yeah.
parked in the parking lot, which was interesting. Took from at the
Yep.
TTC, yeah, and rode the railroad from Main Street over to Frontierland. So got to do that for the first time in 5 years or whatever.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Love it.
But I noticed the first time I walked through the hub, people were camped out. I think people camped out from the start of the day to get the
Yeah.
best spots for Happily Ever After. They were there all day, all
People
day.
putting blankets down and stuff, trying to hold a spot.
Whatever floats your boat.
And also, there was no Tron that day. That was the day before Tron opened, so they actually had it closed because they were doing the cast member photos, and they were doing, they had
Oh,
all
wow.
the cast members that were running the ride. And so, anyways, there was no Tron.
Oh,
I felt bad because where we were standing, there was somebody who had set up a tripod with a camera, and they were doing a live streaming. It was they were speaking French, so I don't know which blog
Yeah.
they were doing, but it was a Disney French blog, it seems like, and they had been sitting there for probably hours, right in a trash can with their tripod, ready to record Happily Ever After. And 5 seconds before it starts, the guy standing right in front of them hoists the kid right up on his shoulders
Yeah.
and blocks their view.
that's the thing about
That's when he
fireworks
started using French.
drives me nuts. Yeah. I was gonna ask you, did people shuffle in and try to in front of you?
Actually, we had tons of space where we were standing because we kind of got into a spot where people weren't trying to join us too late. And then once they started filling in the paths, people stopped sort of coming into that area. So we actually had some space to spread out a little bit. And I had pretty much an unobstructed view, almost just a little off to the right. It looked great. And the first 2 nights I watched Happily Ever After, they did have Tinkerbell. The second 2 nights, the wind, I guess, was too high. You didn't get to see Tinkerbell.
Right. Yeah.
It was super impactful. I mean, when it was over, my mom turned around and said, "Man, Disney knows how to put on a show."
Yeah. That's a great example of it right there.
Yeah.
That's when you said you should have seen Enchantment. Oh,
Right. Right.
It was so good to have it back. But
It is.
anyways, that was day 2, was Happily Ever After. That was the goal.
Yeah.
Day 3 is where we picked up with my coworker. So I'll tell you a little bit. My coworker, his wife, his 2 kids, 11 and 7, and then his 2 adult friends, plus my parents and me. So we had a party of 9. And they asked if they were gonna do 2 days during the middle of their beach trip, where should they go? And I said Epcot and Magic Kingdom. But I told them to start at Epcot because I did not think they should be going to Magic Kingdom on the day that Tron opens, because it would be insanity.
Yeah. Right.
So we started at Epcot,
Madhouse.
and to be honest, they didn't do a whole lot, but had a great time from like a perspective of you and I. We got there. They were late to rope. You know how people are. You tell them,
Yes.
get there at rope, but they were there
Yeah.
at rope.
It's hard
Even
to
though
make
they
rope, You're
Yeah.
not
Like
used
I
to
got to film the rope drop of the day guest, because I was in the resort guest and I was in
Yeah.
there, and you saw I stood right there at Spaceship
Yeah.
Earth, and I sent you a video of
Yeah.
the rope happening
flood
and
of
everybody
people,
coming
yeah.
my way. But I was able
Yeah.
to pull them a Guardians. Actually, they didn't even use their boarding room because I just used the lightning lane, because that was way better for them. But we did Test
Yeah.
Track, Mission Space, and Guardians. So they got to do some really high velocity rides. That actually shook them up. I basically started their day by trying to give them motion sickness.
Yeah. When you do Guardians and then Mission Space.
Yeah, some of
Orange,
us, I did Orange after Mission Space. I did Mission Space Orange
Yeah.
after Guardians, which was...
That's a 1-2
Yeah.
punch.
But then they were like, we would like a drink. So we went to La Cava
Yeah.
and did the walk-up bar.
Right.
And so I guess I went to La Cava 4 times. Sorry, I went to La Cava 4 times.
Nice.
Did the walk-up bar and had a shot, which actually helped settle everybody's stomach. I was unable to pull Frozen or Ratatouille just because of how busy it was that day. We
Yeah.
skipped the Mexico ride because everybody wanted to eat at Beer Garden. And it made my mom so happy because I've always avoided Beer Garden because I just, not a huge fan, honestly. But my mom loves it. And they wanted to go to Beer
Yeah.
Garden because apparently my coworker's dad is from Austria. And so they were interested. And it was actually a grand time. We all got the German-sized beer, the liter of beer.
Wow.
I thought the food was bleh. It was just fine. I think it was not as good of a deal. It was like super expensive, but like everybody had a grand old time. They had a lot of fun. They loved the show. And then we sort of just toured World Showcase, went to the Japan Pavilion, shopped around, got the frozen Kirin. Every time you buy a frozen Kirin, someone's like, what is that?
Right. Yeah.
So did that, got a Guinness at Rose and Crown, but sort of just toured the whole World Showcase. I got the 11-year-old daughter. They sort of said, thanks a lot, Jason, in the pin trading. But later they're like, well, great call in the pin trading. Because even though they spent a fortune on it, she was like super into it. She was like, everywhere she went, it kept her busy during the World Showcase because she's like, I want to trade pins. I want to get this pin. I want to go and find pins, although they spent a fortune on pins, so they didn't care. And then I had pulled a Sorin, so we did a standby for Imagination because the 7-year-old was not a thrill seeker. Like Test Track was too much for him. So they hadn't had a ride in a while. So we did Imagination, and the 7-year-old was his favorite ride of the day. And then did Sorin, and they thought that was incredible. One of the people was like, the best ride of the day was Sorin. And they were out of there by like 3:30. I had suggested them to stay at Coronado. Unfortunately, I didn't go see them because they were staying in the executive suite in the outer buildings.
Wow.
Yeah. They had like a full table, a full like setup. Yeah. But they went to the pool. They said they had a great time. They said that they loved Three Bridges.
Yeah, Three Bridges is good.
Yeah, after I dropped them off, after they left, I went back to Riviera and did laundry, took a nap, and when I woke up, I found a reservation and invited my parents, and we went to Narcoossee's.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it was their last night. That was their last evening. So we went to Narcoossee's, watched Happily Ever After. From there was a proposal that happened during Happily Ever After as well.
I got to witness it. I was a witness.
Yeah, because I was video chatting with you.
Yeah.
I would say Narcoossee's was fantastic. I had the scallop gnocchi was so good.
Narcoossee's, I want to go there so bad. See, I love Grand Floridian.
Yeah, I kept going back to the Grand Floridian. I was sort of like, I'm not, but I keep going back to it. I don't know. I think Citrico's is not my style, but the rest of them are good.
I like Citrico's. I think all the places at Grand Floridian are decent. Anyway.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, which night was it? It was either my first or second night. It might have been the night after Topolino's. By the way, I did go out afterwards, and I went to Jock Lindsay's on that Topolino's night. And I also went to Jelly Rolls. So got a little bit of everything.
You also walked back from, didn't you?
I walked from the boardwalk to Riviera. Yes,
at 2 a.m.
At 2 a.m.
or whatever it was. Yeah.
Is there a walkway to the Riviera?
Not exactly.
I was about to say.
You can walk, but there's no designated walkway.
Oh, I was just trying to think what path he took.
There was a sidewalk up until about the fire department.
How far of a walk was that, though?
It wasn't that bad.
It's probably, a 10-minute walk?
Do you remember the walk?
Mostly. Well, you made it back.
Yeah,
so.
I was like,
I remember
you made it back, obviously.
I remember it. It was one of those where it's like, it's super late. I don't really want to order a Lyft. It's not that far. And I felt like walking would be good for me as far as like just being better the next day.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, there's no traffic, so you don't have to worry about it, right? Was there any traffic at all?
He could sweat a little bit of it out.
Yeah.
It worked out great.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to where we were. We ate at Narcoossee's. It was fantastic. The next day, my parents were gone, but the crowd that I was touring was still there. And it was... Okay. We got Tron. So I did Tron Virtual Queue. That was honestly the longest they had to wait for anything. And they were kind of like a little bit spoiled. They're like, why are we waiting in this line? Because it took us like 45 minutes to ride Tron.
Yeah, Tron.
The line's super long for Virtual Queue. And then once you think you're done and you do the pre-show, you get to that part where they wait for the locker and it like just stopped. And it takes forever to get through that route. Forever.
That is, bad. It's long.
He's like, why are we waiting in line? I thought you got a virtual queue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knowing how they were trying to do it, like if you're taking someone on a single day, honestly, don't do the virtual queue for Tron. Just buy the Lightning Link. by the way.
Yeah.
Which was how much?
$20.
Was
It was actually
20?
cheaper than Rise. It's cheaper than Rise.
That is
Rise
weird.
was $25.
Since we're talking about Tron, we'll skip. I can just talk about
Yeah.
what I experienced. They're still having some challenges with loading, meaning, like we were a group of 5, and you basically got in on the train ahead of us, even though we were called together.
Right.
And then they had put somebody was already in front of me, and then my son would have ridden by himself with this other person. So she was nice enough to let us switch, and so instead of us waiting for another train, so they're not quite doing a
Grouping
great
problem.
job yet. Yeah, they're having a hard time
So
grouping.
when I rode, we had 6, I think, that rode. We grouped fine. The first ride on Tron for me was pretty incredible. That first launch is
It's fun.
wow.
Yeah,
It's wow.
it's very fun.
So I rode Tron 3 times that day, by the way.
Yeah.
I rode it once first thing in the morning. I then took the group on a tour. And again, they didn't do that much. They booked Liberty Tree Tavern for their lunch. I got their daughter on Space Mountain because she's the only one that wanted to ride. They went and did Country Bear Jamboree with the kids. Then after lunch, we did Haunted Mansion and Pirates and the Emporium. And that was it. They had a good day.
Yeah,
That's all they did. And they left
Interesting.
at 3. So
Wow.
right as the parade was starting.
Hmm.
Anyways, so they had a good time. They want to come back. But I did Tron 3 times. I did it in the morning. I booked a lightning lane for 10 o'clock at night or whatever it was,
Mhm.
like 9 to 10, or right before closing. And because I was staying in a deluxe, or I was checking out of a deluxe that day because I was moving to Coronado that day, I was able to go to the extended evening hours at Magic Kingdom. So at 6 p.m., I was able to book another virtual queue for Tron. So I was able to ride the virtual queue twice that day. So I did 3 rides on Tron that day. And I ate at California Grill that night.
Oh my gosh.
So
yeah.
I was able to watch Happily Ever After from California Grill.
Nice.
So that was my 3rd night in a row. So another vantage point. California Grill, I got the Wagyu. So I upgraded, went all in,
Yeah.
did the wine pairing. It was okay. It was
That's
good,
sad.
but it was not. The dumplings I'd be more likely to write home about than the Wagyu, honestly. The Wagyu was good, but it didn't wow me from it's like leagues better than Topolino's or anything, right? On the same level as Topolino's.
Right. That's what I felt when I did Topolino's. I was like, this is like it on par or maybe slightly better than California Grill, but it's still the pre-fee menu, right? Which to me is like,
pre-fee.
why did I do that?
It was good, though. I had a good
Sad.
fireworks view, so
Right. But it's not the same as it used to be, and it bugs me. I wish it would go back to the full menu.
But afterwards, I did get to go back to the parks and ride Tron, and then I got to ride it again in the after hours. And during the after hours, I got to ride on a train all by myself for the Tron.
Nice.
Like, I was the only one in the very front all by myself.
That's
After
cool.
hours was fine. They basically scan your band at the front of every ride. I realized that People Mover wasn't running in the after hours, but it's what I did after Tron. And so I actually got called back to my after hours Tron before the after hours started.
Huh.
So I rode Tron, got off of that. It's like, I want to do People Mover, and the park closed at 10, right? I realized once I got on that they closed the rope behind me. I was the last person to get on People Mover
Oh,
that night.
wow. Nice.
So, yeah.
It's always good.
Timing is everything.
Yeah.
That's right. I rode Big Thunder Mountain twice without having to get
That's
off.
fun.
So I just rode it, and then there was nobody waiting the board. I was like, can I go again? And they're like, yeah, just stay
Just remain
seated.
seated, please.
Love it.
The only, I even did Seven Doors Mine Train because
Yeah.
why not? And the only thing that was weird is because I checked out of Riviera that day, at midnight, even though the park was open at 1 a.m., at midnight, my band stopped letting me go on the rides.
Right.
It started to say I was no longer an eligible deluxe resort guest because my eligibility
Dun, dun,
ended
dun.
at midnight.
Right. It's a new day at that point. So it's your Coronado Springs day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even though technically that was already your Coronado anyway, but your checkout day was over.
Yeah. But my entitlement
Yeah.
ended And I was almost turned away from Winnie the Pooh, but she's like, just whatever, you can go ride it. And then I was like, well, I'm not going to try to talk myself onto any other rides. So I just went by guest services and just like, I'm not complaining. I just want to let you know, in case this happens to anybody else, that if you do this on a checkout day, it stops at midnight.
Yeah. Were they aware of it?
They're like, we'll report it. They said they'll report it, but they have to find out first if this was by design or not, because they don't know. This might actually not be a bug.
It probably was a feature.
But I mean, they let you into the after hours, so I don't know.
Well, they let anybody in the after hours. So in theory, you don't have to be a deluxe guest. You can
right,
just
but you can't get on a ride.
Right, can't get on a ride.
It worked for you until midnight, so it's kind of
right.
How it was open till 1?
It was open till 1 a.m.
So you had that last hour where you couldn't do anything. So I don't know.
Well, at least they didn't stop you from going to poo. It would have been bad.
Yeah, I still was allowed to poo.
I mean, it can't happen that often because I imagine most people aren't switching from a deluxe to a moderate,
Right.
It's rare.
Well, yeah, in general, if it was your checkout day, you're not leaving at 1 a.m.
It's rare that you would stick around.
And it's only when you're doing what I do, where you're switching from one.
It's like you've had three checkouts in one trip.
But it could happen if you're switching from like Swan or Dolphin, which is eligible for this, which is surprising, to like a moderate.
Or if you're switching from Disney to Universal, because a lot of people would do that, and Universal's your next day or something. But maybe that's their thing of, well, you shouldn't have left Disney. So it cuts off at midnight.
Yeah.
The ball turned into turned back into a pumpkin.
It cut off. It was fine though. I was I was tired anyways. I was just
the last hour.
I could have just left, but I stopped by guest services just to be like, hey, I'm not complaining. I don't want anything. I just want you to know.
This happened, yeah.
This is what happened.
Like, sorry, Cinderella.
Yeah.
You're out past midnight.
Right. Yeah.
Got some sleep, and then the next day was the best day of my trip, honestly. Sorry, I know we had some good days.
I was about to say, wait, I wasn't here yet.
Was that the reason?
Yeah, it was the day you showed up. There were some good days that you were there, but this was by far and away, they go down as my best Disney day ever.
Right.
I slept in, number one.
My wife would like that.
I got up and I had breakfast at the, what do you call it? The
market.
The restaurant. The market. I just got a little something at the market and I
El
set
Mercado
out.
Or whatever.
Yeah, set out by the water and took in the vistas of Gran Destino as the sun rose. It's already risen. It was already risen as the morning light. Ate and had a coffee. Sauntered over to my car and drove over and parked at the Grand Floridian, where I then proceeded to go to the spa, where I had booked a 50-minute massage along with a couple of add-ons like the scalp treatment and the hot stones or whatever. I had to add it on a couple things, which apparently as a DVC members I get one add-on for free.
Nice.
I didn't know what I was getting into. I thought I was just going in for a massage, but they have the whole locker room for the men. Yeah. They have the sauna. They have the little waiting area. I was like, oh man, this is legit. I was like, okay, I get it now. I get it.
See, the Grand Floridian's winning him over now, finally.
Who is it that's in control of the spas now? It used to be Senses. Now it's
I think it's still Senses, right? Is it
still Senses? I could have swore someone else took it over.
It was incredible.
My wife loved it. It looks so small, though. I mean, is it roomy in there? Like, you feel cozy?
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Yeah. It's so off to the side,
Yeah, plenty of space in the men's locker room and everything. And I had the massage, and I told I was feeling very tense because I'd been walking around for many days. My feet were tired, and I told her, like, my feet are super ticklish. That's always a problem with massages. They want to massage your feet. I can't take it. She did great without like actually tickling my feet. And literally by the time that massage ended, I was like, oh my God, this is bliss.
The most relaxed.
I was so relaxed. I took a shower. I got dressed. Wow. Like I was just like, I hung out. And then I ate lunch at Coda Cafe. So I was just like, let's have lunch at Coda. So I drove.
You drove. Okay. I was like, how did you get there? I was curious because that walkway.
Drove over to the Polynesian. I was like, I'm here for lunch. Went to the
Yeah.
Kona Cafe, did some shopping. I bought that shirt you ended up seeing me in that night.
Oh yeah.
Went
Yeah.
back to my room. The Masters was on. Laid down in my bed and turned on the Masters and took a nap.
So your best day was a day of
Yeah.
leisure.
I got
It's a
up.
relaxing day.
I went to Epcot and I went to La Cava and I sat down
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I remember.
and I had some drinks and it was fantastic. And then I went over to Kumite and had a
Wow.
7-course dinner. It started with a chef's selection of, I set the paper room, chef's selection of 5 seasonal appetizers that was fantastic. A sushi nigiri and roll. Then the 3rd course was lobster tempura served with a creamy ponzu sauce and matcha salt. My 4th course was the seasonal fish sashimi. Then for my main dish, my 5th course, I got the 3-ounce Japanese A5 Wagyu steak, which was incredible. And then I had a miso soup for my 6th course. And then the 7th was a green tea accompanied by your choice of, and I got the whatever they call it, Monaka Daifuku, which is their like traditional dish. It was so good. And I did the sake pairing. And it's the most expensive meal I've ever had in my life, but it was absolutely
It
incredible.
was worth it.
It was.
Oh man,
It was worth every
that sounds
ounce
great.
and minute of it. I left there feeling so relaxed. I sauntered my way back to the front of the park, drove back over to the Polynesian,
That's right. That's where I come in.
ordered a drink, and sat in the lobby and waited as Adam frantically had rushed down from Atlanta, was all stressed out, trying to make the fireworks.
Right,
Walked
we were
in,
trying to
and
get
I was
there.
like,
yeah.
I was like,
I know.
chill out, dude.
totally,
Chill out.
totally collided with your relaxing day.
And now for a quick commercial break.
Calling all parents. Meet the Family Cash Card, Greenlight's newest credit card for parents. You can earn up to 3% cash back on every dollar spent. No limits, no categories, no hassle. No kidding. You can choose to auto-invest your cash back to pay for your kids' college. Apply it to your balance, or send your cash back straight to your wallet. It's basically cash back your way, every day. Get started today at greenlight.com.
And now back to the show. We rode over to Magic Kingdom and I got to see for the 4th night in a row Happily Ever After, this time from the end of Main Street.
Right. Because by the time we got there, it was about 20 minutes before the fireworks
Yep.
started.
And then we ended the day at the terrace of Trader Sam's Tiki Terrace.
Which was really nice.
It was. And for some reason, I ate some more.
Yeah. Why?
I was like, whatever. I don't know.
Why
That
not?
was an incredible day.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible day.
Sounds amazing.
I rode 0 rides that day. It was incredible.
Yeah. But you had like the best food, probably if ever.
I was going to say, your Kumite experience sounds a lot better than Frank Duke's. No?
No.
Anyway,
Explain.
you don't know if that was the name of the tournament that in Bloodsport?
Oh,
It was called the Kumite.
Oh, okay.
It was called the Kumite. That's the name of that fighting tournament.
Oh,
Anyway,
interesting.
that one fell on deaf ears, apparently, that reference.
Yeah, it did.
Way back. You do remember Bloodsport, right?
Yeah,
Jean-Claude Van
right.
Damme?
I remember.
Okay,
I mean, it's not
anyway.
like it's a movie I watch regularly. It's like, oh yeah, I watched it last week.
Anyway,
But yeah, I mean, just to talk for a second about Happily Ever After, I think we mentioned this in the last episode, but yeah, it's just great to have it back. I love every second of that show, and yeah, it's just beautiful. And then to end, like, it was, like Jason said, kind of stressful because we were just trying to get there in time for the fireworks. It was like, can we make it? And we barely made it, but we made it. And then to relax a little bit at Trader Sam's, the terrace anyway, is, always order Captain Cook's for the kids, the nachos, get some drinks, nice spot. It's always somebody playing live music. It's always nice too. I think he was playing Beatles and stuff.
Yeah, it was great.
The Beatles songs,
was
like
great.
Hawaiian versions. It was
Was
nice.
that the
very
most relaxed you have
So,
seen me in a long time?
Yeah, I feel like we kind of crashed your relaxing day, but
It was good to see you.
at the end of
I
it,
was glad to have you there.
Yeah.
My best friend shows up
Yeah.
to so in the day. But that was that day, and then Adam's here with me, so now
Next
we
day.
can sort of talk through that. The next day was when your coworker shows up,
Yeah.
and
Hollywood
we
Studios.
do a Hollywood Studio, similar to what I described from my prior Hollywood
Yep.
Studios path, but a little bit more Star Wars heavy. A little bit more Star Wars heavy because that's what
Yeah.
they were in for.
Yeah. They're big Star Wars fans, so we kind of try to make it Star Wars heavy. But yeah, we did the same strategy of Smuggler's Run, Lightning Lane. We roped Runaway Railway, which had a little bit of a breakdown towards the end. So we didn't get the full experience, but, it happened. What else? We kind of did some Star Wars stuff that we hadn't done. So building the droid experience was one that we haven't done yet. John, you did it a long time ago. But
Yes.
you did a BB-8, right? Or BB unit, I should say.
We did a
right?
BB
BB
unit, yes.
I have a BB unit as well now.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
of course, I tried to convince my son to do what's not the R2,
C
but the
unit?
C, yeah, the like chopper.
The chopper.
But he decided on the BB unit, which, fine.
The BB unit is kind of neat
Yeah,
as far as,
It's okay. I mean-
how it works.
right. It is cool how it actually works, but, I'm more old school, so.
Yeah. I really would rather have an R2
Yeah.
overall.
But anyway,
I wasn't the one that chose the
right.
BB unit, truthfully. It was Maddie.
Right. Yeah, that's why I said I let my son pick because he, it's
Yeah.
like he wanted to build it up. But, for the extra money, you get the backpack and the personality chip included for $195 with a pass holder discount. I think total tax and all was $191 for that. So, it's not a terrible
Whoa.
deal. I think it's $120 now for a droid instead of $99. It used to be $99. But it was a fun experience. It was very crowded. And, what did you think, Jason? I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like my droid. I think I had more fun having my droid the rest of the day, sort of giggling around in my back.
That was neat.
And then I took it out when we were hanging out waiting on your friends to ride Rise later.
Yeah.
And I was like right there at the exit or the entrance, whatever you want to call it, on
To
the
the
marketplace.
Yeah.
And I was rolling my droid around, and people were going by like they thought it was part of the land. Like,
Yeah,
like
they were
kids would be
confused,
like, "Oh my gosh,
They were like, what?
there's
That's
a
cool.
droid!"
Yeah.
It's like, hey, it's those free roaming droids they were talking about.
They promised droids in that land.
Right. That's all you get is like,
You were just providing it.
right.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what we meant, of course. The Giz provide the droids.
But I will say, as you were talking about that, when we did Rise of the Resistance, your droid was on, and so it was very much like when we were getting captured, it was like,
Yeah, it
going
got
nuts.
really nervous. Even though I don't know why I got nervous because I gave it the black First Order chip, so I
Right.
made an evil droid.
it was
Um,
like, right. You would think he'd be like, maybe he was just excited, like, I'm finally back with my people. I don't know.
So it reacted to everything you did over there?
Yeah, like you
Like
would
just
go around
naturally?
somewhere and it would start spinning around and like freaking out
And
if you got
talking
near.
and-
Like
yeah.
whenever the stormtroopers walked past, it freaked out.
Yeah. Which, it was cool. Actually, isn't there that corner by the bathrooms where those droids are sitting? It'll interact with those too.
Yeah.
We didn't go over there, but
Oh
anyway,
yeah,
we should have done that.
we'll have to take our droids with us next time because I enjoyed playing with it there.
Yeah.
It was fun.
So, also, we got to see Mando or Din Djarin. He was just
But
hanging out.
no Grogu.
Yeah, he did not have Grogu, so I guess Grogu was not working or operating.
I guess Grogu was up in his what is it, IG
Yeah.
3
Right.
robot or
That
whatever.
would be cool to see roaming around Galaxy's Edge. Yes. No. Yes.
Speaking of Mando, this is
That'd be
before
awesome.
it comes out for the week, and
Yeah.
not to spoil anything because we haven't watched it, but they seem to imply that something bad's going to happen, and a lot of people are speculating somebody's going to die. Do we want to guess who might die this week?
I don't know. Do you think?
Din Djarin.
Well, I don't think it would be Bo-Katan because I think she'll be like the leader or whatever.
The theories that I've seen floating around is they think that, okay, there's some fan theories floating around that, the 3 that they encountered, they think are actually on the side of Moff
The
Gideon.
bad guy. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
Moff
they think
Gideon.
that they're really like spies, and there's even some theories floating around that think that what's her name, the one that's
Armorer.
kind of established herself as the leader of the
the armor.
the armorer, but she has a name. I
Yeah,
can't
I can't
remember
remember
what it
her
is.
name either. But yeah.
Anyway, they think that she actually, there's some theories that say that she's actually the one that led them into a trap there. So
It'll be interesting to see.
I feel like somebody's going to have shown to be some sort of betrayer. I mean, because it is kind of quite the coincidence that, they encounter those three, or the fact that, she seems to have encouraged them coming back here, and then they get pretty much ambushed, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's quite the coincidence.
I can't imagine Mando or Grogu dying because there's a movie, right, that's supposed to basically close out The Mandalorian. Isn't that one of the movies they announced?
What if they bring Boba Fett back for one episode just to kill him? Because he was not in the other. Because he basically
Well-
they gave him a series where half of it was Mando. So
You know what? I just figured it out because he's supposed to die. It's Carl Weathers.
Oh,
supposed
because he
to die.
dies in every movie he's in. Is that what you're saying? Because
That's pretty much.
like Predators.
Yeah. Rocky, Predator. Yeah, Carl Weathers has to die at some point. So
Yeah, Lord, I guess so. His track record in movies, so it's not. Yeah.
well, by the time this comes out, if you've watched it,
You'll
you
already
already
know.
know. But we're totally speculating at this point.
Right. So it'll be interesting to people listening to this be like, what? What the heck?
Anyways, so to wrap up our trip, let's see. I think it was a successful day showing your friends around. I think they got everything
They had a great time.
that they wanted.
Yeah, I've heard their son wants to come back, go to different parks with us. So they enjoyed it a lot. Yeah.
And we wrapped up that day at Three Bridges.
Yeah.
It's a good wrap, I think.
Great food. And I'm going to say it. I think it's the best burger on property for sure. To me,
Three Bridges. That's good.
it's fantastic burger.
How many burgers on property have you had, though?
I mean, I can't think of like at a sit down where I've had a burger necessarily, but well, maybe one or two, but it beats all the quick service burgers I've ever had. Put it that way.
They're all the same.
Yeah.
I didn't have a burger, but that actually reminded me. I forgot to mention when I was with my parents, I ate at the Plaza, by the way, which was
Right. I think I had a burger
That's
at
right.
the Plaza before.
Oh, I was going to say, that would be what would we call it? Gourmet burger, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
My
it was
dad
okay.
loved the banana split at the Plaza. It was exactly what he wanted.
Nice.
Anyways, but
That's nice.
we did Villa del Lago at the Three Bridges. It was great.
Fantastic. Yeah. Always good. I was going to say really quick, the best bathroom of any of them is Three
Seriously?
Bridges. Yeah.
What's your
best
favorite
bathroom
bathroom?
of
The
any-
companion bathroom
Best bathroom
at Three Bridges.
of any of what?
It's gigantic, and you have so much room in there. Yeah. Companion bathroom
He
at Three
loves that
Bridges.
bathroom. He loves that bathroom.
Yes.
He actually doesn't even
He
use
loves
the
the
bathroom in his
subject.
room when he's staying at Coronado. He leaves
love-
his room,
I will go.
goes over to Three Bridges
For
to
that.
use that bathroom.
Yeah.
And gets up in the middle of the night and he's like,
Yeah.
I got to go to
Yeah.
Three Bridges.
Even if it's closed, I
Yeah.
hop the fence. No. But it's the best. I love that bathroom. Anyway. Go ahead. Epcot.
So we go to Epcot, and
Yeah.
I mean, there's the normal stuff we do at Epcot. I think the biggest highlights. Well, there's two highlights at Epcot. Number one, we spent 3 hours at La Cava.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we ordered
Oh
quite a
my
bit, and
gosh.
there was another table near us that was also ordering a lot. So we
And
did
they ordered
like
a drink
the
for my
typical,
wife too.
yeah, typical like mixed drinks, like off the regular menu. Adam and I each did a Barbas shot. You had a Lily. I mean, we
Yes.
had all sorts of stuff.
Oh, was it Silent Ninja? Is that the one?
Oh, that one was good. Yeah, that was good. That was the very special, like
Was that a
they
silent
make 5
ninja you're
of them
holding
a
up?
day.
Yeah.
It's a sake mixed
Right.
with tequila.
Yes. And yeah, Barbas was saying they had like one table came in earlier that day and ordered all 5 of them. They loved it so much they ordered 5 of them.
But then he found out they had one left.
Right, but then he looked in the back and was like, we had one left for today. So he brought us Silent Ninja. It comes on its own plate. It has this little pour. It's in a little pitcher, and then you get to keep the little cup, I guess you'd call it, that it sits.
Yeah, Adam and I have joint custody of that cup.
Yeah. Well, we rock, paper, scissors for it, remember? And
Yeah.
I guess I won. I don't remember. I guess I did. That's
I
how
don't
I ended up
remember.
with it. I think that's how
I forgot we rock, paper, scissors until just now.
Yeah.
So if that tells you how things went.
Yeah.
So what won? Yes.
I don't know. Paper covers rock? I
We
don't
wrote
know.
Grand Fiesta after that, right?
Yeah, we did. Did we? I think we did.
Okay.
I think we did. But it was, did we? I don't remember.
I think this is indicative of what kind of time you had at La Cava.
Did I say Silent Ninja or Smoky Ninja? By the way.
You said silent. Ninja.
Sorry,
Or was
Smoky
Ninja
Ninja.
silent?
Which makes sense. Smoky because of the tequila. Yeah. Anyway. Smoky Ninja. Oh, we
Get it.
we ate
It's all
crickets.
coming back to you now.
I remember that. We ate crickets. That was fun. You had
They were-
suggested
they're
that.
fantastic.
Actual crickets.
And then Barbara's brought crickets for everybody, even the table next to us.
Were they
and-
alive?
No. But they were good. I mean, even my kids ate the crickets. So they loved it. They thought it was cool.
So we rode some rides, and then we had dinner at Le Cellier.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was, we pulled the
I
resi for
didn't
that.
really get to try
Yeah.
the steak at Le Cellier because I was so
You got to go
your
to the
steaks
cellar.
out.
freaking full. I was so full from all the La Cava. I didn't know how you were eating anymore. I was like
Yeah.
dying. I ordered the vegetarian option
All we had
at
was
Le Cellier.
they have chips and queso and guac. That's all they
I
have.
know. I ate a ton of that. We had
Yeah,
like
he brought us like 2 of them. But I mean, still, it's not that much.
How much did you end up spending at La Cava, should I ask?
I showed you the receipt.
You showed me the
Yeah,
receipts?
I sent it to you on
Oh.
the thing.
I don't remember
we
that.
spent about the same as what I spent on my meal at Takumi.
Well, that was between 3 adults, I guess. That's
Yeah.
not terrible. But still, yeah, we racked up a
Anyways.
bill there. But it was just fun. Like we were just enjoying it. It was really good to have that kind of fun experience. So
Yeah.
and when you have someone like Barbas, it makes it even more fun. So
Yeah, Barbara's is the best.
yeah,
Le Cellier, I would say, honestly though,
Dude.
on the lower tier of the signatures for me, but still good.
it was my favorite. Let me think. I think it was my favorite of all the places I ate. If I can,
What did you get?
I got their filet.
And he got the standard, the
and-
filet with the mashed potatoes. The mashed potatoes were the truth,
oh,
but yeah.
actually, it was on risotto. It was
But
over risotto.
didn't you order the side of potatoes?
I did get the side of potatoes. The potatoes were
That was the truth.
phenomenal. Yeah,
Did you get the cheddar cheese soup even though it's
I did.
available all
I
the
got
time
beer,
now?
I got the beer cheese soup.
my wife got it too, so I sampled it. Of course, it's great. And the filet, of course, is way better at the restaurant than it is at Food and Wine, obviously. I mean, it's sitting under a heat lamp for 7 hours at, with Food and Wine, so it's not going to be as good.
It's still not bad.
Right, but it's not going to be as good as in Le Cellier. And yeah,
Right, getting it fresh.
it was a really good filet. Of course, there's other,
And we were there at
ones.
like, I think our reservation was like,
it was
what
pretty
time
late.
did the park close? At the park closed at
9.
right?
When did we, I don't even.
And our
let me
reservation
see.
was 8:55 or something
Right.
like that.
Let me see.
We were one of the last. We were like the last seating of the night.
Yeah, like we were ordering at 9:12 p.m. according to my pictures. So anyway,
Yeah.
it was empty
So we did
basically
that.
by the time we left.
Yeah, we got to walk out of a pretty empty Epcot, which I feel like you and I appreciated it, and the others didn't. Your wife didn't really appreciate the how special that was to be able
The
to walk
out of empty.
Epcot.
Yeah, it was very empty. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
It's always nice
empty.
to close out a
Like
park.
Epcot was empty?
Yeah, it was empty because it had been closed for like an hour by the time
Oh.
we had left.
Yeah, one of these days, like Jason, if you and I do, or if we do a podcast trip where it's just us or something,
Yeah,
we should do a Oga's after close and then just walk out of.
yeah, because you can still get reservations for like up to an hour after
yeah,
close.
way after it closes.
Remember, we did it after close Oga's when it was just me and you there. We left.
It was late.
You
Yeah,
might not remember it.
I don't because we
Because
went to
You
Epcot.
might not
No.
remember that.
How did we? Oh, was
No.
that before Epcot? How
Yeah,
did we end
then
up
we
there?
went to Epcot. We
Right.
rode the Skyliner.
How was Epcot still
And
open?
then we went to the Americas Pavilion, and you had a Tennessee lemonade, and I had a
Yeah.
gumbo, and then we rode Living with the Land.
I don't know
yeah,
how we did all
anyways.
that.
So we did Le Cellier. We went back. We slept. The next day, we got to do Tron, which you
Yeah.
barely made it on time, but congratulations,
Yeah,
because
we
we
were-
were up so late.
Yeah, we were dragging that morning.
I can't believe I got there so early.
Yeah.
I actually got up and I went I went and ate at Gasparilla's. I had a Grand Floridian Cafe breakfast one day, but I ate at Gasparilla's. Then I went over there. I went to the Tiki Room. You know,
Right? Yeah.
what else is there? I was like the first showing of Tiki Room for the day.
Were you the only one?
I was going to say, were you by
No.
yourself?
I'm sure you
I
were
was
by
almost
yourself.
the only one. There was there was one other party that came at the very last second, and they had no idea what they were getting into. They were like, "What is this?" And we're like, "It's great. You'll enjoy it."
Oh, really? Nice.
It's the, he didn't start singing. He like, it's the tiki, 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 tiki room.
Yeah.
It was great. Jose kept saying his siestas are getting shorter and shorter, even though he slept all night. So I don't understand it.
Yeah. Right.
We did that. We did Tron. So
Yep.
that was my fourth ride. So I got to ride Guardians 4 times. I got to ride Tron 4 times.
Yeah.
Verdict is Guardians is the better coaster.
That's no surprise. But as you said, Tron is still awesome. I mean, it's still a really good
Tron is
addition.
better than Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah, I get. I mean, they're close. They're both very
It's better.
close, I
It's
would say. But yeah, I mean, as of right now, I would want to ride Tron just because it's still new.
But we wrapped up very early that day. And I was going to meet y'all for lunch, but my son wanted, me to get back early so I could get
Yeah.
him. So I just departed. So after 9 days, it ended. But maybe you want to tell us, you went to Enzo's. So
Yeah,
how
I'll
was your
mention
Enzo's
that.
lunch?
Really quick on the other thing, though, we did try the food at the Tron booth, like the dumplings and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
They were
Yeah, I
pretty
forgot
good.
about that. I did that twice. Yeah, I like those
They're
dumplings. I
decent.
think the
It's-
buffalo one's better. I like the
Agreed.
buffalo
I think was it a teriyaki
Broccoli.
beef or whatever? Beef and
the
broccoli.
beef and broccoli.
It's got a very strong sauce that's a little too much, but so yeah, the buffalo one's better. But also the Tron merch in the store. We bought some Tron merch and it's good. I like the Tron merch. It's
Yeah.
decent stuff. So yeah, Enzo's. I had forgotten. We loved Enzo's pre-COVID and hadn't been there since 2019, and so we hopped over to Springs. Springs was crazy busy that day. It was Easter Sunday, so it was nuts. So a lot of people were trying to do brunch and whatnot, but yeah, I mean, the food at Enzo's is great. They have, look, drinks are decent, food's decent. It's just a good spot though. If you're at Springs, like, I prefer Hideaway to Maria and Enzo's anyway, but and then we did some
Which one
shopping.
did you do?
but
Did you do Hideaway or Maria and Enzo's?
Hideaway. Enzo's Hideaway I
Yeah,
like
okay.
better. It's a little more intimate, a little quieter.
Yeah.
Food's just as good, so
Then your trip wrapped up.
yeah. We Uniqlo is our main stop at Springs, and then I looked at Gideon's. It was too busy, so I was like, I'm not gonna stick around that long to wait in line for that, or get a return for that. So one of these days I'll do Gideon's, but it was just
One
too
of these
busy.
days. We'll be back in June.
Yeah,
Be back in
we
June.
might need to dedicate. Is the treehouse connected to the? Is it close to the boat launch for
I
Springs?
think so. I
Yeah,
think
we should
can
probably
get
make a
there. I haven't looked at
Springs
the map.
evening of it or something. Anyway, so yeah, a long trip.
They have a grill
you.
too on the Treehouse Villa too, I think.
Oh, interesting. Can bring some food. Anyway, that's later.
It was a great trip. Loved it. Would do it again. A+. As long as DeSantis doesn't put a prison on Disney property, we'll be good.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I think the only downside for me was just how much I had to spend on Genie Plus for a party of 4.
yeah.
That was annoying.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
don't go during busy times. But that's the problem. Anyway,
Anyways, so I think, yeah, that wraps it up. Any other thoughts
That's
or
it.
questions, John? Yeah.
I think we've learned Adam's obsessions are bathrooms and
Sure.
original voices for characters.
Those are my
Yep.
those are my
Those are his obsessions.
things, yeah.
He brings them up every single time they're
My
available.
pet peeves as well. If
What's the one thing you bring up all the time is bathrooms.
I mean, when you have two kids,
And that's not really Woody's voice. That's not really Buzz's
well, actually,
voice.
you know,
That's
I
not-
learned from Tom Hanks. It's his brother Jim that does all the voices for like the parks and stuff.
all of the voices.
That's what he says. He says his brother Jim does anything outside of the movie is his brother Jim Hanks.
Heh.
Yeah, interesting. My 5-year-old though has to go to the bathroom a lot, and so I need to know where they are at all times, and where the best ones are.
He always has to go immediately.
Yes.
There's no, hey, let's get
Hey, when you have a
a
minute,
little bit longer.
yeah, it's like I have to.
It's like-
yeah,
It's like an emergency every time he mentions it.
he either doesn't have to go at all, or it's like I'm going to explode if I don't find a bathroom in 20 seconds. Yeah, spontaneously combust. Yeah. So that's why I'm always like, how close am I to a bathroom? And that's okay. And you know, it's funny, but you know, like waiting in line for Tron for 40 minutes, I was like, he's either really excited about this or he's got to pee really bad. Like, I can't tell.
He had to be.
And
had
he
to be.
did.
It's like-
And that's the thing.
You're going to get up right to where it's time to get on the train. I got to pee.
I mean, that's happened. That has happened on rides many times. And we've had to pull him out of line. I had to pull him out of line on Guardians one time. What was that experience?
I know that bothered you.
Oh, I hated that because I was about to board. And then they let me go back through the lightning lane, but I had to go back through all the pre-shows again. Anyway, it was annoying. Whatever.
All right. So, if you enjoyed all that, you can find us further on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That is all at TWTM Podcast. We have a Spreadshirt store in which you can buy your exclusive TWTM merchandise, including the Rafts Are a Ride shirt. That is the only place you will find that. That is shop.spreadshirt.com/TWTM Podcast. We have a YouTube channel in which our Splash Mountain videos have actually made quite a splash, I guess you could say.
Nice one.
And where can you find those, Adam?
On our website, which is travelingwiththemouse.com. We also have an email address, podcast@travelingwiththemouse.com. And if you would like to have some assistance booking your next trip to Disney World, Cruise Line, Universal even, you can use our travel agent friend. The link is also on our website, travelingwiththemouse.com.
So, for Adam and Jason, my name is John, and we hope you will join us on our next trip.
For 9 days.
On mushrooms.
400
trips. We're going to give away
400 trips?
400 trips.
400 trips on mushrooms?
Oh.
We're going to give
That's a
away
good one.
400 free tours if you agree to pay for our lodging and all of our food and beverage while
And
we're
the
touring.
Genie
Wow.
Plus while we're there.
And our Genie Plus.
But
Yeah,
we'll tour
just
you around.
Just a small fee.